Hello and welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling. I'm your host, JP John Paz. With me today, two very special guests. Legendary tag team, of course. You know, they were in the WWF. They were in Championship Wrestling for Florida. They were in Mid-Atlantic. They were in JCP. Of course, Randy and Bill, the infamous Mulkey brothers. Guys, welcome. How you doing?
Thanks, sir. How are you? Good, man.
Very good. Very good. So what's going on in your world, guys? What's the latest?
Well, we are here in Hickory, North Carolina at Bill's house, getting ready to go to Charlotte for the NWA Legend Fan Fest tomorrow from 12 to 6 at the Hyatt there in downtown Charlotte.
Nice. Very cool. Do you guys do many conventions and stuff, or is this kind of more of a rare thing?
We do one every now and then. It's like I told you before, we don't do this to make a living off of. We got our own things that we do. But when we are asked to come, we show up, and Greg Price is one of the first class person that puts on a show that that's unbelievable, that it's hard to turn down. And then we done the gathering 2 years ago with Marty T, and he's another first class ones that we do with. But other than that, it's just whoever asked us to come, we're affordable. We don't ask a ridiculous price. As long as we get our expenses took care of, we travel to wherever, and but that's it. That we got our other major things that we have to take care of before we put the Razzles business in front.
So no more wrestling, not wrestling per se, but no more really wrestling business for you guys outside of just some conventions here and there.
Correct. We live an everyday life now. We are just the biggest fans. Look, we got to do our childhood dream job that if anybody ever had one, we got to do it.
And right here, let me get it up. Okay, see if we get it right there. See if we can sit right there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, there we go.
That's even better. But we got to do our childhood dream job when we got to do this, and we are just the biggest fan. Is probably some of the biggest fans they think they are. We bigger, Yeah. But we just got to do it. I mean, we got to live out our whole dream of doing what we love to do.
How did you break in? Like, how did you find the wrestling business and get in? I mean, we're talking mid '80s, obviously, but what made you guys want to get in and break into the business?
I had a grandmother sister that was an absolutely wrestling fan. We went to wrestling 7 nights a week. We went to Greenville, South Carolina. We went to Anderson, Spartanburg.
Within 100 miles.
Yeah, within 100 miles. She even come to Hickory. She went to Salisbury, North Carolina. She went everywhere. She had ringside ticket in Greenville and Anderson that she held for over 50 years.
Yeah.
Same seats.
Amazing. That's awesome.
So it was just a dream. That's something that we always wanted to do. And the way we broke in, we had our own ring set up. We had an old building that got tore down and left the floor there that we made broomsticks as a corner post with hose pipe ropes and everything. And we done shows in our backyard.
Wow, awesome. So, Bill, were you officially trained by anybody? Or you guys kind of self-trained?
Self-trained.
Yep,
self-trained.
We also had a guy there in Anderson that used to be one of the Infernos, Harsh Strickland, that had it was the IWA wrestling organization. They kept the ring at the cow barn at the fairground that we would go up on Sundays and set up and play around in all day long on Sundays and tear it back down, put it back on the trailer.
So when you guys are doing that, were you fans big time before then? Who were you fans of to even want to be able to do that even to begin with?
Well, we was fans. Our day was back when Johnny Weaver, George Becker,
Argentino Paulo,
Haystack Calhoun, the Infernos, Rip Hawk and Sweet Hanson, the Andersons. I mean, that was our childhood growing up that we went and watched every week.
So it's almost like you guys are like backyarders, almost. You know what I mean? Like
We
you
were
started.
backyarders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We was backyarders wrestlers, jumping off the houses.
that's awesome. Yeah.
We was doing all the crazy stuff before anybody ever thought about doing the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But just because you loved it, because you guys were fans.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And then Horace Strickland gave us a chance with when I was.
Well, it wasn't Horace Strickland.
No.
Then it was Tommy Simmons.
Tommy Simmons and the Tucker brothers and Leroy Nation and Roger Wicker. Not Roger Wicker, but what was Roger's last name?
Roger Whitlock.
Yeah, Whitlock. All of them were one that gave us the chance of doing when they started doing little small shows. That when they didn't have somebody show up, they put us against each other. I went as the Red Demon, didn't weigh 100 pounds.
And I went as Cowboy. I went as Cowboy Bill Mulkey. So we went against each other.
We always kind of stole the show. They always put us first match, and then they get back and cuss us out because we done better than what most of them they had going to do the main event.
Wow. And even without a lot of training at that point, or really no training, if you think about it.
No training. We didn't have not one bit. We could put a match together without anybody telling us how to do it. We didn't even know how to do it.
Crazy. Wow. Pretty
Pretty
amazing.
We just done what we thought we would like to see if somebody done it.
We didn't know if it was we was getting heat on with each other. We didn't know it was called heat. We just call that comeback. You know, you do this for a little bit, I'm gonna do this for a little bit, then we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and then you just pin me or I pin you.
So basically, what you would think that as a fan, what you would want to see, and then you just acted it out, basically.
Pretty much.
Correct.
Yeah.
What we watched on TV, we reacted in the ring for ourselves.
Back then, though, was it so guarded that they really didn't want you in the business? Like, was it frowned upon that you're breaking into the business and weren't really trained?
Listen, it was hard to get into business back then. It ain't like it is today. And I hate to say this, Tom, Dick, and Harry can go, and pay the big dollars to go to school and get a chance to go up there. It wasn't like that way. It was a brotherhood. It was hard to break into the brotherhood of the business and get people to know that you can work or even thought that you could work.
It's amazing, like, to think about guys today, like anybody can just get into the business. Back then it was so guarded they didn't really want people in the business, but you guys are just kind of forcing yourself into the business almost. Very interesting way to break in.
We just kind of grabbed a hold of some of the coattails of different ones that we knew was going in different ways and all that stuff, and kind of edged in a little bit, and then got to be known a little bit. And then once we got to be known a little bit, everybody started asking questions, and so that basically kind of give us a little way in and to slide in there a little bit. So
I went to championship wrestling when I was 16.
Georgia
championship wrestling. Rip Hawk and Ole Anderson was the bookers over at the time. And I went 3 weeks and wrestled Dr. X, which was Don. I can't think of his name now, but he was Dr. X under the hood over at the time when Roddy Piper and all them was over. And the 4th week I went back, they found out I was only 16 years old. And Rip Hawk made a phone call to my parents, said he could make me a star. And my mom said, no, till you finish school. So that was kind of my last time. I made 4 trips over, and I met Alvin Koloff back then when he was there. I met a lot of guys that couldn't believe I was 16 and doing the bumps that I was doing. And they told me, said, when you turn 18, come back. So by the time I was 18, Crockett, the WWF done went in, and they done got run off, and Crockett done went in over at Championship Wrestling and turned it into, WCW Championship Wrestling. And we was there about 3 weeks before we started doing the Carolina taping. And then after that, it was pretty well full time doing house shows and traveling around doing what we need to do with them. So it didn't take long with our talent that we had to win different ones over, knowing that we could work.
Well,
so
basically, we kind of got in on a little whim Mike Jackson out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Mhm.
He was booking all the enhancement talent for TV over in Atlanta. Now this is back the old TBS station, not the new one. This is the old one when we got started over there. Before they built the new one and moved over to that part and everything. We kind of made a phone call and kind of got in on that and got over there. And like we say, we went under him at TV for a few weeks. And then basically we had a liking from several different people and everything. They pulled us in. And next thing we knew, we was working for Crockett ourselves, you know, and then doing the Carolina tapings on top of that. And then a few house shows periodically here, there, and yonder. And we'd getting paid from Jim Crockett Promotions.
That's amazing. That Mike Jackson, by the way, still wrestles, which is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
To think that at 73, I think he's still wrestling. Yeah.
73 years old and still walk the top rope.
Yeah, he still walks across that top rope.
So did you have a relationship with Mike at that point, or you just knew him from TV?
We just got a phone number and kind of made contact with him, which there was a few times that Mike done some independent bookings in Alabama on the weekends and stuff. Now Randy didn't go. We did. We went to
Alabama a couple times, and
we went to
after we left the TV show on doing the taping for TBS, we would leave and go to Alabama and do a house show with Mike Jackson.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
And then I went over a couple times to Birmingham at the Batwell Auditorium when they was running Continental there, the Armstrongs and all over there. And the very first match I had on TV for them over there was against Tom Pritchard. He was the Alabama champion at that time. And I was new to the business and all that and everything. That wasn't doing nothing but enhancement talent on TV at TBS, you know, would really know what you say, total background of anything. And I went in there and Tom Pritchard made me look like I was as much a champion as he was. It was the easiest thing. I guess we probably went 35, 40 minutes and all that stuff, you know, but he was the Alabama champion there and everything. And what a match we done. And so I done a couple more with him doing that. Plus, you know, just kind of in and out different places, you know, just kind of getting known different places. But Mike was a good guy to be around. He took care of us. He took care of us.
Now, when you get in there, is there any sort of relationship with Jim Crockett Jr. or no? There's no even. He's one way and you guys are another. Do you guys have any relationship with him?
Oh yeah, I mean, once we got where it was, once they found out that we could work, we wasn't just like the other greenhorns that come in just for the TV and all. They realized that we want to do it full time.
Yep.
We had all kind of opportunities. That's just like the what they call the match that Midnight Express and all them done. The scaffold match. We was going to dress up as a construction worker, and I was going to take the bump off the top of it to show how dangerous it was. But as it got on down to it, they didn't do that little thing, but it was in working of doing a construction worker, assembling it together and fall off and get hurt.
Instead, Cornette fell off and really got hurt. Blew out both of his teeth.
Yeah, tore his knee up and everything.
Sure did.
And then it got where when we was at the TV station, when the Road Warriors would take off to Japan and they would come back, they would have to, it was just like a war in the back of the dressing room who was going to wrestle us on TV that day. If it was going to be the Road Warriors, the Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, Boogie Woogie, or Ivan Koloff and Nikita. I mean, there's been a lot of almost fist thrown to who was going to get us and who wasn't going to get us.
When that happens, like you guys are kind of not the talk of the town there, but obviously everybody wants to work with you, likes to work with you. That says a lot, right? I mean, everybody wants to be able to get in the ring with you. They know you're not going to hurt them. They know they're going to look good.
Well, they also know that we know what we was doing, and they also know that whatever they was building up as like the Road Warriors. I mean, it's just like you're gonna get squished, you're gonna get killed, you're gonna get manhandled. But it was just something that the way we worked and the way we took our bumps and everything, like they just killed us, that they wanted it like that way.
Supposed to look that way, right? With the Road Warriors,
Yes.
especially given their gimmick.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
9 times out of 10, if they coming back to Japan, they stiff as hell. Because over there you have to work and knock them down. And probably 9 out of 10, if it's their first match on TV, they putting us with us. Because they know that we pretty well protect ourselves. We know not to stand there and take a full blast from the Road Warriors or anybody else. We was light off our feet, and you just couldn't hurt us. I mean, there's no hurt in us, no matter what they done.
Not
Billy,
till now.
Not till now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
not till now.
Falling apart every day.
I wish we know what we know now, and everything, where we could have made a little bit bigger bucks than what we made, but it was still a lifetime dream that we had that we wanted to do.
Bill, do you think the Road Warriors are a little too stiff in the
No.
ring with you guys?
No,
They never was really to us
Not
because
to us.
we knew what was coming, and we was, like Randy said, we was just quick off our feet and everything. So, you know, and everybody said, well, I don't know how y'all take them. They're so stiff and hard and all that stuff. Get in there and do it.
just go do it. You know,
Now,
if you don't protect yourself, then ain't nobody else going to protect you.
That's right.
That's the way we
But
always
they
look
looked
at it.
out for us. I mean, they actually protected us, most of them.
I'm the one that gave them so many moves. The one that on the shoulder, set them on the shoulder and did the clothesline off the top. and flip
Doomsday
them over.
device. Yep.
That was mine. That was my idea.
Yep.
You know, and I told him back there, I said, why don't you put me on your shoulder and give me a clothesline off the top? Just flip me. Just take my legs and flip me. I'll do a 180 and land on my face. And all. Hey,
That's
you
an
can do
awesome
that?
move, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I can do that. I can do just about anything that I want to do with a little bit of help.
Such an awesome move too, and obviously became a part of who they were. Everyone
yes.
was, you know, they doing the thumbs up, calling for the Doomsday device and everything.
That's right. And then the clotheslines. Oh my God, they looked like they wasn't that heavy. I mean, because we was light off our feet.
But they was their arms and all was stiff enough that you could take that lift off of that to make that bump look so good, you know. But it wasn't stiff. It didn't hurt us. It was just stiff enough that you could take and use it for your advantage to make the bump look so good. So we would go every week and practice these different finishes of all the different guys, different finishes and all that stuff. How to make their finishes look better and everything, make them look good and everything. And I guess that's what they appreciated as much, because we made it look like, you know, we were just totally
devastated.
Just totally decapitated sometimes,
Yes,
you know.
big time.
And then Nikita, I done on his sickle, I always done that 180 off of that, done that whole flip and everything. And then across the cruise shaft, we was in Greenville Auditorium where I took the 1.5 backdrop off of him. That was the first one ever been done there. I had the whole dressing room emptied out on that night when I done that. And then the Midnight Express suplex on the concrete floor, that was my idea. I told him he wouldn't bump me on no damn nose at no announcer desk. He can do the suplex me or leave me in the ring. So he's a suplex. I said, yeah, shoot me out, suplex me. That's where I took the major bump coming out of the ring, and he picked me up, suplexed me.
No wonder everybody wanted to work with you guys. You're making them look like $1 million taking all these spots.
We studied every guy, and this ain't no lie.
We did.
We was school of wrestling. We study every guy. We know their moves. We know where to be. We know where their steps from one side of the rope to the other, how many steps to be, where to be exactly laying, coming off with Bobby Alabama Jam. You know, a lot of them would either be too close or he had to jump too far out. You know, you always kind of raise up a little bit to catch the blunt of the bump where his butt's hitting the ground. It ain't kind of knocking the breath out of you. You kind of raise up and catch it and go down with it.
Yep.
I used to do the Invisible Man. I used to wrestle Invisible Man, and you think somebody's in there killing me. And then I used to blindfold myself and count my steps from corner to corner, rope to rope, sideways, back and forth. every which way. I know how many steps there was in between turnbuckle to turnbuckle.
Let's put all that aside. We had fun.
Yeah, we had fun.
We made it fun. And then when it got to the point and all that stuff to where it got to be where it was a have to this and a have to this. If you don't do it this way, if you don't do it that way, then they took all the fun out of it. Then it wasn't fun no more. You know? And I guess that's the reason why after Crockett done what they done when we was in Florida and they killed the territory and pulled out and everything, I guess that's the reason why we just lagged behind because, I mean, you know, I stayed in Florida and Randy went back to South Carolina, but, you know, I really didn't care. They took the fun out of it. It was like more of a corporate job than it was wrestling and having a good time. And that was what I was in it for, which I guess I should have stayed and pushed on and everything. I might have made some of the big bucks, but maybe not. I don't know. But some of these guys now are really doing it big time, but
we still just have fun.
We just have fun.
What do you call what you guys did? Like some people call it the enhancement role, the carpenter role. Some people even say it's the jobber role. Like, what do you guys refer to like that, the role that you had as?
Well, in Japan, we was rated #1 jobbers in the United States. We had a Japan magazine in Spartanburg, South Carolina, interview us and all that stuff. And in their magazine and all that stuff, they had us illustrated as the top jobber, the #1 jobbers in the United States. And in Japan, they call them jobbers. And different ones call them jobbers. Some call them enhancement talent.
Carpenters.
Yeah.
And all jobbers, I don't care about being a jobbers. I mean, I rather be called enhancement or carpenter. I'm like George South. I mean, don't call me a jobber. You know, I'm here doing what I love, and we made a good living at it at the time we was doing it. You know, we survived. That's one thing about it. But once, like I said, once Crockett started getting out of it, and you had Turner buy them out, and you got all the other ones coming in, it was more of a corporate fight in between. Even with Blair and all them, they was having it too. So the fun was gone. The fun was gone compared to the way it was from the 80s until it started hitting on about 92, 91. Then, you know, it seemed like it wasn't what you want to call wrestling no more. It was more of
commercial,
scripted, or you being interviewed for a Hollywood movie or something other like that way. And that wasn't what we signed up for, you know.
So not a fan of the word jobber though, Randy. You don't like that term.
No, I'm not offended by it. I mean, that's what we was called back when we first got started, jobbers. And then it went to
considered enhancement
talent, and then it went to carpenters. But yeah, jobbers a little harsh on a lot of people. I mean, this day and time it's either enhancement or carpenters. Yeah, they don't call them jobbers no more. No.
Especially when they're asking to work with you guys too. So it's not like they're wrestling random guys. They're saying, "No, we want the Mulkeys."
Well, they did give us one big homecoming after we left Florida. They gave us one big homecoming back to our hometown, Crockett and them. And we was watching TBS down there in Florida, and didn't realize what was going on. And Cornette and them said, "We done wrestled everybody in the world. This, that. They was U.S. Tag Team Champion. They ain't nobody left." And Jim Crockett come out there and said, "We got one more team for you. It's going to be the Mulkeys. It's going to be in Anderson, South Carolina. It's going to be at the Anderson Rec Center. And they are the #1 contender." So we did get our homecoming match back home after they sent us to Florida.
Right.
And everything with a sold out crowd, main event. You know, you couldn't put a pin in there after they got everybody in there and sold out like they did in our hometown.
They was turning people away, and people was getting on stuff and standing up and looking through the windows on the outside.
On the outside with the ladders and all.
At the most they've ever had in the recreation center in Anderson.
First time they ever sold it out. Ever sold out. So
Awesome.
we
So
had,
what was
like I said,
what was that like though?
we had our
Because
times.
they're
We
giving
don't.
you your flowers.
Oh yes, oh
Yeah.
yes. And like I tell everybody, we don't make a living off the going to these shows and everything. Greg will tell you, and Marty will tell you up there at the gathering. We just ask for to cover our expenses to get there and get back. You know, we more or less go to see family. That's the way we look at it. They
Family and friends. Yeah.
family and friends. We ain't going up there to act like we are legends. We don't consider ourselves being legends. We are two lucky guys that got to do a world of a dream.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, anybody can say they got dreams. We lived our dream.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, what you think about Midnight Express and Cornette? To me, maybe the greatest combination of all time, just in ring, arguably the
Hey,
best.
Absolutely.
you couldn't ask nobody to know better. You got the world's largest mouth. You got two of the, well, there was three of the greatest workers, Stan, Dennis, and Stan Lane. You know, there's no way that you didn't look like $1 million when you did work them.
When it wasn't a TV enhancement job, you know, when you worked house parts and everything, you look like $1 million with them. They took care of you. It made you look that way. And then when Dusty gave us the opportunity and wanted to send us to Florida, he made a lot of promises that he didn't keep. He really snowballed us and throwed us in the furnace once he got us in Florida and everything, because of the promises that was made that wasn't kept. You know, that he didn't make good on his promises, but still we had some good matches. We had some good guys to work with. Scott Hall down there,
Ron Simmons,
the Bushwhackers, Tijo Khan, and Barbarian, all those guys, and Boogie Woogie, all them guys and all. We had some good guys we worked with down here.
The New Breed.
Well, no, they sent them up here.
Yeah, but they was there for the first few months when we was there.
Few weeks, yeah.
And all our two guys that come from there, the Mob Squad, they from Anderson too.
Mac and Jim Jeffers.
Yeah, they beat them in Lakeland, Florida, to lose their league town for the Florida Tag Team belts.
Yeah, they did.
Sure did. And that's when they left Mary and come up here.
So Dusty, not a great relationship as far as you guys and Dusty.
Well, it wasn't what you say had a bad relationship. It was just
Promises wasn't made.
Promises that he made and everything he didn't hold to. He didn't, you know, he promised a lot of things for us and everything because it's what he wanted to do for us. I mean, he come up with a deal and all that stuff in the
tag team tournament.
In the tag team tournament, he come up with the finish and the real big bang and all for the tag team tournament to get us in the tag team tournament in Baltimore. And we thought, you know, well, hey, when he offered this, you know, full time, and he made these promises that what he was going to do, and there wasn't a single promise he made that came true.
Except for the Baltimore tag.
Except for the Baltimore tag team tournament. That's the only thing that, you know, the promise that was made. And we really didn't know that was happening until they flew us in and got TBS. There wasn't but 6 people that knew what was going on about the Baltimore tournament, that we was going to the Baltimore tournament. And that was 2 guys under the mask, me and Randy, the referee, Dusty. That's the only one, the camera people didn't even know it.
We didn't know till towards the end.
We didn't know until 5 minutes before we went on TV.
Because we ain't been there probably almost a year.
It's been several months.
Yeah. After all the ass kicking and the butt kicking and all that we took at TBS, and then to put us over on TBS, like they did to put us in the tag team tournament, we had no idea that we was flying up there to do that. That was a surprise to us.
Might be one of the most memorable things as far as you guys, definitely. But as far as that run on TBS, so many people say, the Mulkeys, they always lose. And all of a sudden you wrestle the Gladiators 1 and 2, and you guys get the upset victory.
Pop.
Yeah,
my God, that studio went off. The
camera people, the audio people, the
Tony Schiavone
and all them, the announcers and everything. See, nobody knew it. It was bam, and it was there, and it just threw everybody for a loop. and everything. And then, I said, well, maybe, now that Dusty is going, make good on some of his promises. He promised us on the Florida run and all that. And the next thing we know, they was burning down the territory, pulling everybody out. And next thing you know, they left everybody high and dry. Well, they said, well, you can come back to TBS, back up and do enhancement talent and all on TV like you was doing when you first started and everything. And I said, nah. I said, not only they give us what they give us and all that stuff and then pull the rug, it wouldn't work that. That was a slap in the face. That was worse than the lies that Dusty told that he didn't make good on. No, I'm not going back and do all that. And so I stayed in Florida and done a bunch of independent runs, different places. And Randy come back to South Carolina. He'd done some up around this way, and then we'd meet up and do a few here, there, and yonder. But that's all we've done. And everything. We had our run. We had our, and done what we wanted to do. And
I was pretty well damaged. I was pretty well damaged when I left Florida anyway. And everything. I done had 8 back surgeries, a neck surgery.
Wow.
All them guys that's done had neck surgery and all. I'm fused together from C3 down to C7 with 2 rods in my neck. I done had 8 back surgeries. I'm fused from C3, from L3 all the way down to, and everybody ain't gonna believe this, but I'm fused all the way down to S3 in my tailbone.
Taking all those bumps.
All them bumps.
Good thing
and
you
it
didn't take
wasn't
that
that I
scaffold
took wrong bumps. I had so much arthritis and bone spurs that was growing from the bumps that I took that just about crippled me.
Well, that and we played a lot of backyard football. Randy was a truck driver. He jumped in and out, and I played a lot of softball and all that stuff and everything. So between all of our joints and all that stuff, we about wore them all out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say, looking back at that Gladiators win, just to touch on that because it's so legendary, would you say that was the highlight for the Mulkeys just because of that pop and that reaction, that utter surprise?
I say we would.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's one of them.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest surprise and pop that we ever got, besides the homecoming we done in Anderson, South Carolina, with the Midnight Express. That's probably will put the icing on the cake with the Midnight Express.
Right. Yeah, we thought
that was pretty well. That was pretty well my last match there in Anderson with Crockett promotion there when we done that record.
That was my last one with Crockett and all that. Besides the ones that I done in Florida with the WWF at that time.
Yeah,
I went and done a few spots and all with them and all, but that was my last with the Crockett's and all too. Was that there?
Because it was pretty well over with them selling it to Jim Hurd and all them. I mean, it was just we weren't bodybuilders. Don't get me wrong. Our favorite thing was eating and drinking, stood at bodybuilding and taking protein.
Right, right.
So, and then we talked about getting in the gym, and I said, well, look, we muscled up and get all bucked up and everything, we're going to lose our bumping status. Yes. Because we're going to be stepped up and we ain't going to be able to bump like we used to. So pretty much, I said, the heck with it. We'll just go from here, be who we are. Either they like us or they don't like us. They can't say that we didn't leave 100% and left our heart in the ring every time we got in and got out.
We tried to.
We lived, we breathed, we eat, we slept in that ring.
For the love of the game.
Yep. And then, like that Dusty used to say, potty meat and porky beans. Believe me, we ate a lot of potty meat and porky beans when we was traveling on the road. And we stayed in a lot of damn roach motels in Florida that we would check in at 3 o'clock. At 7 o'clock next morning, they come knocking on the door saying they need it for the next prostitute to come in or rent it out. We didn't know. Good God, we just got here. Our checkout ain't supposed to be 11. No, this here is
by the hour.
By the hour.
We didn't know it.
We didn't know that. So,
There was quite a few nights we slept in the car.
Yeah. We slept in the car there in the bay, there in Tampa.
Yeah, sure did.
Pulled over on the side and just slept till sunlight come up and went to the next stop. When we got to the auditorium, we went in, got us a shower, and got us a little nap on the beach, got ready to do our show and come out of there. Yeah. Do it
all
all
for the love of the business, right? Just for the love of the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Love of the business.
I don't know if that love of the business or we was just brain dead at that time or not.
Just stupid. We were just stupid as hell, I think.
Did you guys, with, obviously being a part of that Crockett Cup, like you mentioned in '87, did you guys think you were, maybe because you had the momentum from the TV, the shocking win, did you think maybe they would do a little bit more with you as far as going further in the tournament, or no?
Well,
we thought so.
We thought we was probably going to make it to the second round, at least to the second round. We thought we was going to go at least the second round, then get beat, or maybe get squished in the second round by the bigger boys. But it was still the experience. Walking out in Baltimore with being sold out, and all you can hear was Mulkey, and the signs was out there in the crowd.
Mulkey mania.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that was the most amazingest trip that we ever went on. I mean, that right there was right there was another lifetime experience right there.
Mulkey mania. You guys were over like Rover. Probably should have won first round.
Yep.
It was first round. So they caught a lot of flack because we didn't.
Yeah. Even Cornette thought we was going to go to the second round.
There was a bunch of them that thought we'd at least go to the second, probably the third round before.
After we lost the first round and got back, even the Road Warriors and all them just saying, what are y'all doing? I thought at least y'all would go to the second round. They was pissed. They got pissed and asked a bunch of questions, but it was what it was. At least we was part of it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was part of it.
But Denny Brown and Todd Champion, just like a random team. You guys should have beat them. What's up with Dusty and that booking there? That's just not great.
That's where they call all.
Look, I can't take nothing from Danny Brown. I've done a few house shows with Danny Brown there in Greenville Auditorium, and absolutely 20 minutes hardest we could go, making me look like $1 million, and then pinning me. Look, can't take nothing from Danny Brown. Danny Brown was junior heavyweight champion, and let me tell you something. He didn't mind working with you and giving you a good match, either on TV or in the auditorium house show. I mean, he was a good person.
But Todd Champion, another story.
That's another story.
Anyway.
I mean, just because you got the muscle and the body and the looks don't mean you can wrestle.
Yeah, he looked like $1 million. He looked like a Greek god. Yeah,
but he was also the Road Warriors brother too. So,
really,
yeah,
he was some kin to him, wasn't he?
Yeah, Johnny Unitas.
No, that's not Todd
John
Champion.
Laurinaitis, I knew.
That's Johnny Ace.
And then Johnny Ace was the younger brother.
Yeah, they was.
Yeah, They was all right in there together.
When you look at it, though, like you said, like all the guys in the back are even saying it. Do you guys say something to Dusty like, "Hey, the Road Warriors even coming up to us. We should have won something in that tournament." Do you guys say anything to Dusty or no?
Nah, we just went with the flow. Went with the flow. I mean, at the time we got back to the dressing room, it was too late to put us in the second round anyway. There was no
say nothing then. Because absolutely, when we got down and everything went over,
even Tommy Young got not said.
Even the referee.
I cannot believe it.
Yeah, and then when we walked back to the dressing room, and we come up on the curtain, Crockett was standing there, and this is the exact words he said. He said, "Damn, boys, if I knowed we was going to get that kind of pop from y'all coming through this curtain, I'd have gave y'all that cup." And I said, "Now's a fine time to think about it." And that's the last time I ever spoke to the man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the exact words he said. And that's the exact words I said back. But, even Crockett himself seen where there was a lack there of that. And they caught they did catch a lot of flack about it because, it was like, they used us and abused us and just threw us to the side after that, basically. and a lot of people gave them a lot of flack for what they done. But you know, that's water over the bridge. Now we can't change it. It's done went long downstream. So you know, but we was just glad to be part of it, and we, golly, well, this thing ain't wanting to work right, and we was just happy to be part of it and get the experience, and all the fans knew we was if they put us in a show and we was, say, we come out of the heel side or the babyface side, it didn't make no difference. We didn't shun. I guess that's the reason why the fans liked us so much and everything. We got right in there with the fans because we was fans too. And, you know, and we knew without them being there and without them buying the ticket, we wouldn't be making what money we did make. So, you know, the fans was the number one thing that kept us going.
My main thing when I first started, and Bill tell you this, I said, the day I walked into that studio down there, I will change the bumping system of this whole professional wrestling.
You know,
And I
basically we
did
did.
that. I did that. I
Sure
did
did.
that. And I don't do that. I don't say that to brag, but I did that. Because
You're lying. You do say that to brag. You don't want everybody to think it's all about Randy.
But I mean, I actually done it to change the bumping system because I watched it so much. I said, there ain't no way. I mean, they know that ain't gonna hurt.
Well, you didn't see many of the guys, just like me and Randy did, you know, on the clotheslines, on the like the Russian sickle or the Road Warriors clotheslines, take a complete flip around and land on their face on the other side, and everything like we did. You didn't see that coming from anybody else. You didn't even see that coming from any of the top talent, let alone the enhancement talent. You
And
know,
then the hard bumps that we took on our backs
on the floors
and
stuff.
listen,
like that.
Kevin Sullivan, every time we wrestled, if he was outside that ring, I was going to take a clothesline on the floor.
Yeah.
It didn't make a
Or
difference.
suplex.
Or suplex. He was going to clothesline me or suplex me.
I ain't buying.
When he was with the Varsity Club, when he was in Florida down there, if he was at that ring and we was doing TV taping, I'm getting a clothesline. They gonna put him. Varsity Club's gonna throw me out. He's gonna give me a clothesline. I mean, it's just certain ones that we know that know that we would be able to take the bumps. They always want that special little added into it, that little pop put in there.
Yeah.
When you guys are basically finished with Crockett, what's the end there? Like, how do you leave it with them?
That's it. We was done. I started doing my back surgeries and neck surgery. They had my wife when I went and done. I started driving the truck. I bought a trucking company, and we're running east and west. I was running the West Coast back, hauling produce back. I had 9 trucks, and I thought I was having a heart attack one day coming in. I told my wife, and she had the ambulance meet me down about a mile from where I parked my truck at from my house. And when they picked me up, I was showing signs of a heart attack. Come to find out, I had nerve damage in my neck so bad that when I went and saw the surgeon, he told my wife, do not hit a bump, do not push him, do not do nothing. If it was up to me, we'd be going to emergency operating room today. But I got to do the pre-op. We got to go through everything to do the pre-op first. And then later, they went in and cut all the bones out of my neck, and I got nerve damage. I got a nerve now at the bottom of my heart when they do an EKG on me. It freaks the nurses out. I have to tell them. I said, look, hold up, slow down. It ain't a heart attack. It's a dead nerve. And all. So
Scary.
Yeah. So like I said, when we left our heart and soul in the ring, we left our heart and soul in the ring. There wasn't nothing that we wouldn't do. There wasn't no bump that we wouldn't try. And that was part of what Mulkey Mania was lived on. That was made of how we was made, how we wanted to be pursued in this business as we was first class workers. We might not have the body. We might not have the looks. We didn't. The biggest thing we picked up was our forks and maybe our 12-inch can.
Right, right.
But our dedication was 199%.
Now, as far as the WWF is concerned, were you both there? Or was it just Bill that ended up in WWF? Because I know it was only a few spots, but was it just Bill or was it both?
It was me.
It was him and another guy that went by Tony Mulkey.
There was another
Oh,
guy.
okay.
that
I was
met
confused
in
by that.
Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah. And he had kind of the strawberry blonde hair and kind of the freckles and all too. And so I kind of pulled in with me and everything. We went as the Mulkey brothers for a little while, and everything was Tony. And he done a few spots with me with the WWF when it was the WWF at that time. Yeah, WWE, WWF. Yeah, when it was them at that time when they would come to Florida and do their TV runs, to do all their TV for that week or so, I would hit all the spots and everything and work for them for that week. And I'd done that 2 or 3 different times. And they wanted to get me in full time with them and all. And that's when they started making their change around a little bit, started changing things and all. And I was treated good. I was paid real well. And there was some there that wasn't.
The Mulkey Bird wants to get in on it.
Mulkey Bird wants to get in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a blueprint on Amazon back there in the cage, and he's done hearing us talk and back and
ain't
forth.
said a word all night
Ain't
since I got here.
Ain't said a word since Randy got here. Now he's starting to want to chit chat back there a little bit.
Yes.
But anyway, he can talk more trash than Randy can. But I and they started making that kind of a, what you say, turn with the WWF before they went in changing over to the WWE, and they started more of this farming stuff, instead of using good talent they had and all that stuff. They started using what they building on their farm, talent and all, and kind of push what you say, the enhancement talent and workers out the opposite way. If you didn't do it the way they wanted it done, if you didn't train the way they wanted you to train, if you didn't, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you didn't take the steroids and stick the needle in your butt and do what they wanted you to do and go through their regiment and all that stuff, they did not want to have anything to do with you. If you want to be honest about it, I'll be honest about it.
So you weren't long for the WWF because obviously the bigger
reason
guys.
Why you had all these guys coming in off their, what you say, their farming and all, was also big and bulky and blowed and all that stuff, muscles and all that stuff. But 90% of them, golly bum, I'm getting to hate that thing. 90% of them couldn't work. They couldn't take a bump because they couldn't get back up because there was nothing but bulk. But, you had a few of them that could. But, like you say, it kind of pushed the other experienced enhancement talent and workers and all out the back door. And I just kind of give it all up. I worked a few independent shows here, there, and yonder and all that. And then basically we go to the few conventions here, there, and once in a while, maybe 1, 2, 3 times a year at the very most. And that's all we do. But we find out that a lot of the fans hasn't forgot who we are.
Yeah, you can Google our name right now, and it'll tell you everything you need to know about us.
Yeah, pretty much. Everything they are.
So we are working on a deal with Burn Gagne and all with our action figures supposed to be coming out.
Awesome. Power Town. Yeah.
Power Town.
Power talent. Yep.
I haven't heard anything on that.
We ain't heard nothing about that because they kind of do it in sections. And then we've done the Fisher game. We in on that. So there's a few little things that come in our way that's probably going to pay off in the future for us.
Maybe.
But if it does, it does. But don't,
we ain't lost that.
We ain't lost a damn thing. We damn sure ain't lost our dignity. We ain't lost our intelligence. And they nothing.
Might need to back up on that intelligence just a little bit.
Well, I can't help it. I mean, I know you've lost yours, but mine's still there. But I mean, there's there's nothing we are embarrassed at what we done in the business that we done. I mean, we absolutely, you wouldn't believe the fans that we run across in these fan fests and everything. That's just absolutely, it's mind blowing. Knowing that there's people out there that just, I mean, hell, we idolize, I wish I could be Ric Flair. I always did. And Ric Flair is one of my top #1 biggest wrestler. I'm his fan completely. If I know I can still do what he does at his age, shit, why not? And still be a draw too. I mean, what can you ask? Bobby Eaton. I mean, he's another one. Harley Race. Oh, we love Harley Race. So Harley Race has always been. He was a good guy. I mean, we met Mankind here in Spartanburg one year when they was doing thing. I mean, you got these guys that comes up, Dano Brown, him and what's the one with the with Anderson and all that's at WWE that was with AJ Styles, the tag team.
Carl Anderson.
Carl Anderson.
Yeah.
Him and Dino Brown, we met him down here at the Wrestling Fan Fest with Greg, the last one he had. The guys bowed down on their knees, was praising us, and said the only reason they got in wrestling was because of us.
Wow.
And look at the big stars they are.
Yeah.
Or was. Yeah.
That is mind blowing that you can affect somebody.
That's respect.
And how they respect you when look what they have done accomplished way more than what we did. And all then come up to you and do things like that way. So the respect that we got in this business and the way that Jim Cornette talks about us and Dutch Mantel and the stories that Jim Cornette stretches the story. Oh my God, he'll stretch it 100 miles just to get an inch out of it and everything. But his storytelling is just amazing.
Yeah,
I can sit and listen to him all the time. Arn Anderson, I mean, they stuff on YouTube at Arn Anderson. I mean, he's telling the God's truth about it. When he was Monday down there in the Memphis area, he wasn't nothing but a job guy neither.
right.
He paid his dues just like everybody else did.
Yep.
So, what can I say? I mean, we got to be the two of the luckiest guys in the world to do what we got to do with the people that we got to do it with.
Right.
And be able to have their respect and their love and their generosity when we do see them. I can't tell you what they do behind our backs, but it's amazing, man. It is amazing.
And it's still amazing today, just like my wife, the hairdresser she goes to, her husband's a big wrestling fan. And her husband come in today when my wife was at the stylist and all today and everything. And she told us, this is who this is. This is Mulkey, the wrestler Mulkey's wife right here. And, you know, and we still got, I go in the Waffle House, not expecting to see anybody. And there you got a whole table full. I know who you are. My wife said one time back several years or so back, and all that stuff, she said, "All right, any place you can go that somebody's not going to know who you are?" I said, "Not if they've ever watched TV and been a wrestling fan."
Look, I've been in all 48 states driving a truck and been out of the wrestling business for probably 10 or 12 years and go in there and sign my name. And they say, Mulkey, Mulkey, Mulkey. We used to watch a bunch of Mulkeys on wrestling. Randy, Randall. You ain't Randy, are you? I said, yeah, sure ain't.
It's awesome.
So, I mean, it's amazing. People still knows who you are.
Well, the thing about it is, not the last 2 years, but 10 years before that, I worked for FedEx. And I traveled all over quite part of our upper tri-state of North Carolina here and all that stuff and everything. With FedEx delivery, I worked delivery driver and all. And you wouldn't believe the places you go in and still get recognized, even though I had a FedEx outfit on. Or they would ask me, man, you're not one of those. You don't know those Mulkey brothers, do you? And I said, yep, I'm one of them. And it would just totally blow them away. And it's amazing still to see. And I guess what you say, the ones now is things, times going on. We're coming down to the last of the dying breed, I guess, the old time NWA legends, we've had a lot of them passed on and everything. So we're getting down to a lot of the last of the dying breed, the actual, I actually say the actual wrestlers, the ones that actually wrestled instead of done a 30-minute commercial, that put on a show and before they turned everything into what you say entertainment wise,
right?
And we're getting down to the bottom end because there's not a lot of them left out there.
George South, let me tell you something.
George
South, if they should have been any enhancement talent that should have been pushed,
George is one of the good ones.
George is one of the good ones that should have been on top. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
George is the one. And I think the last time I didn't really wrestle. I just got in the ring and we wrestled George and his son up here at the NWA Legend Fest one night. And they put us over and everything. They didn't have to. But that was something that George wanted to do. That's something that George put together with him.
That was the last bump. That was the last bump that Randall ever made.
That's the last. That's only the last one. And I done had surgery and everything too. But I took that one bump. I took him a few bumps for George and them because they wanted to do that. They wanted to put us over. And George is probably the one of the first class, Jesus loving and let you know every day preacher. They are that's out there in that business now. Brother and them does the gospel singing and all they used to, and a lot of people's done died off in their gospel group. But George will get on Facebook every day and tell you how good it is. And I'm telling you right now, George should have been one of the. If he wasn't a heavyweight champion, he should have been next to the heavyweight champion. He should have had plenty of matches for the title and everything.
George was a class act.
He was one of the best ones, and I'm telling you right now, he's done so many favors for us. Even in the house shows when we wrestled him and Rocky, Rocky King, and all.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable, unbelievable. Rocky King's another one. He should be another one. You got to get him move around.
Nah, about all I can stand.
Okay. So, but yeah, he's done about had all he stand with him sitting there with that back surgery and everything. So, but yeah, we thank you for your phone call. We thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys
for the interest in the Mulkey brothers and everything. But like I said, anytime you want to talk to us and you want any kind of scoop, I will give it to you. You are talking to two guys that put their pants on just like you do, one leg at a time, unless you're jumping in yours. I can't jump in mine. I put them on one at a time. And usually I have to use my little stick to help me get the other leg on where I can get it raised up far enough to pull them up. So, but that's just the way we are.
Let him talk.
Randy, Bill, thank you to the Mulkey.
You got
really
anything,
appreciate it all the time.
You got anything else, John? You got anything else, John?
No, that's perfect, guys. That's great. Thank you for all the time. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. We appreciate
now,
you
where
taking
are you from?
What about you out of?
New Jersey, Asbury Park.
Dirty Jersey. Park the car in the damn yard.
Yeah.
I used to come up here to Colgate Palmyra to drop off the Minute Maid men deodorant plastic things I picked up in Anderson, South Carolina. I used to take them up there and drop them off, and they fill them up there.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
Yeah. So I've been all over the place. But yeah, bud, we appreciate it. Thank you. If there's anything else you want to ask us before we get off of here, feel free to. If you want to call us again or send me a text, message me, Facebook me, it don't matter.
Yeah, I'll message you guys. We'll have to do a part 2, but thank you so much for all the time, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you,
just
sir.
Remember to let all you listeners know we'll be in Charlotte tomorrow from 12 to 6. At the
Will
downtown
do.
Hilton. No. Hyatt downtown.
the Hyatt downtown.
Mulkey Mania forever. Love the Mulkeys. Randy and Bill, thank you guys so much.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
sir.